Hello everybody, in this video we're going to talk about the basics of trigonometry. So without wasting any time, let's get into it. So first of all, what is trigonometry? Trigonometry comes from a Greek word which means measure triangle. So that means we are measuring triangle. That means trigonometry is nothing but a study where we study the relationship between the angles and the side of a triangle, particularly right angle triangle. Since we are talking about right angle triangle, let's study what's a right angle triangle. A right angle triangle is a triangle in which out of three angles, one of the angle is of 90 degrees. So this angle is of 90 degrees, then we can say that this is a right angle triangle. The 90-degree angle is also called right angle, at right angles, meaning just perpendicular. So that's where the name comes from. So out of three angles, if one angle is of 90 degrees, it's called a right angle triangle. So now we are going to study the relationship between sides and angles of this right angle triangles. So we have 6 trig functions out of the sides of a right angle triangle. For example, this is my right angle triangle. I'm going to label this length as A, this length as B, and this length as C. Since this is a right angle triangle, first we are going to write a Pythagorean theorem. Since it's a right angle triangle, and we can write Pythagorean theorem for right angle triangles. So what does a Pythagorean theorem says? It says hypotenuse square equal to opposite square, or we can say perpendicular square, plus adjacent square, or another name for adjacent is base square. So it's not divide, it's or. So the name for opposite is also perpendicular and the name for adjacent is also base. So I'm going to stick to the terminology of opposites and adjacents. Opposites is also called perpendicular and adjacent is also called base. So now the Pythagorean theorem says that hypotenuse square is equal to opposite square plus base square. But which one of the side is hypotenuse, which one is opposite, and which one is adjacent? So let's study that. The side which is opposite to the 90-degree angle, this is 90-degree angle, and the side opposite to it is called the hypotenuse. This is the hypotenuse. And the side which is opposite to the angle, suppose my angle is here. I have drawn my angle theta here. So opposite side to theta is called opposite, and the side adjacent to the angle, side adjacent to our angle is called adjacent. How we can define the relationship between the sides and the angles? With 6 trig functions. They are called sine theta, cos theta, tangent theta, cosecant theta, secant theta, and cot theta. So if this is my right angle triangle, this was my angle, the side opposite to 90 degree was hypotenuse, the side opposite to the angle was opposite, and side adjacent to the angle was adjacent. So sine theta is defined as opposite divided by hypotenuse. Cosine theta is defined as adjacent divided by hypotenuse. Tangent theta is defined as opposite divided by adjacent. So basically you have to learn these two only. Other four can be derived from these two itself. How? Let's see. You can use by this thing SOHCAHTOA. S stands for sine, which is opposite divided by hypotenuse. C for cosine, which is adjacent divided by hypotenuse. T for tangent, which is opposite divided by adjacent, which I have written here. Okay. Now, why I said that you only have to remember these two, because tangent theta is equal to sine theta divided by cosine theta. Okay. Now cosecant theta, why I said you don't need to remember cosecant theta, because it's inverse of sine theta. Secant theta is inverse of cos theta, and cot theta is inverse of tangent theta. So I'm gonna recommend you to write in such way: sine theta, cosine theta, tangent theta, cosecant theta, so that you know that it's cosecant theta is the inverse of sine theta, secant theta is the inverse of cosine theta, and cot theta is the inverse of tangent theta. So you can learn this using SOHCAHTOA. Now we are going to study some trig identities which I recommend you to remember because they are very useful. So let's study trigonometry identities. First identity I'll recommend you to learn or memorize is sine square theta plus cosine square theta is equal to 1. Second identity says that if I double the angle inside the sine, it would give me 2 in front of and then sine theta and then cosine theta. Third is if I double the angle inside cosine, what it would give me? It would give me cosine square theta minus sine square theta. Fourth one is if I square the angle, it would give me 1 minus cosine 2 theta divided by 2. And the fifth important identity is if I double cosine square theta, it would give me 1 plus cos 2 theta divided by 2. These two are similar. The difference is minus and plus in between the formula. For sine, it's 1 minus cos 2 theta, and for cosine, it's 1 plus cos 2 theta. So these are the important quantities or identities that I want you to memorize. So, and I haven't written any quantity with tangent, cosecant, secant and cot because tangent theta is sine theta divided by cosine theta, and your cosecant theta is inverse of sine theta, secant theta is inverse of cos theta, and cot theta is inverse of tan theta. So if you know all these 5 quantities, you can write these in terms of that. So that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.